2 of Diluting Al-Wala Wal-Bara, part of the Right Belief series, the Unveiled Trilogy, written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. This book will focus on awakening the faith in a non-faith-centered world. Explained, broken down, and brought to you, unlike before, by Ustada lailanasheeba. Join us Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Sunnahfollowers.
Rasulullah. Welcome to the first of our classes for today. This is our series, Wala Wal Bara. This is our series of Aqidah, Wala Wal Bara, which addresses what our belief system as Muslims should entail. And we are studying from volume 2 of the book written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. And every Muslim should have a copy of this book, especially those of you who are English speaking, because a lot of the English speaking Muslims have a hard time understanding what La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah means and entails. So for everyone, go to Amazon.com and buy the book. This is volume 2. You should also have volume 1 of this book. If you do not have volume 1, then you need to purchase it too. Wait, hold on, guys. I have a sick cat. What's wrong, Sammy? Sammy? Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. My cat is sick. Oh, goodness. Oh, my God. It's okay. All right. Okay. So if you have, I know. If you have not purchased volume 1 of the book yet, please get that too. The books are sold at Amazon. They are written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. That's the name. You want Diluting Wala Wal Bara, volume 1 and volume 2. We are now in volume 2. And as you guys can see, the book is over 500 pages. So it'll probably take us another year to get through this book, like it took a year to get through volume 1. The thing I want you guys to understand, as you can see, this book focuses, volume 2 focuses on how to maintain faith, your belief in Allah, and your practice in an environment that is not faith-filled. Most of you listening to me are living in environments that are not faith-filled, even in the Arabic world. I have a lot of Arabic brothers and sisters here who are also telling me that the Arabic world is not what you think it is either. That the Arabic world has westernized, that they have the same issues, maybe on a lower scale, but the same issues exist in the Muslim populated lands, just like they do here in the West. They have a problem with drugs. They have a problem with sex out of wedlock, believe it or not. They have a high problem with homosexuality. They said most of the schools are filled with homosexuality, okay, that the children are exposed to. So just to let you guys know, even in the Muslim populated lands, it's hard to maintain La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us that this is how it would be, that it would all be like this. It would end this way. But he also told us that there will always be a handful, just a handful There will always be a handful of true believers who will try to call you back to the truth. There will always be a handful, just a handful, to try to call you back. That'll be until the last hour comes. Because when the last hour comes, everyone that'll be living on earth at that time are kafir. There will be no believers. Even though they will all claim to be Muslim, none of them will be believers. So up until that point, Allah lets us know that there will always be a handful, just a handful, who are speaking upon the true Islam. We're living in those days where we have social media, we have the internet. Everybody wants to be a scholar. Everybody claims that they know the deen. We got thousands, literally millions. They claim that there are 6 million people who have memorized the Quran by heart. But that's all it is. 6 million people on this earth, the last statistics show, have memorized the Quran by heart. But that's just how to say it. But they don't know what those words mean. They don't understand them. The prophet said that day would come. He told the companions, this will be hard for you, my companions, to understand, because you are not that many in number. He said, but there will come a time when many people will appear who will be able to recite the Quran beautifully, because they would have memorized it by heart, but it will never go past their throats, meaning they will never understand what they're saying, because they won't know my sunnah. My sunnah will have become abandoned. These people, these reciters, they will replace my sunnah with fatwa, which means Islamic verdicts. They will issue Islamic verdicts that go against what I came with, that go against what Allah said, that go against what you are upon. And these are those days that he was speaking about. Even here at my website, in my Zoom room, most of my Bantu people here have known the Quran by heart. Most of the women and children in my Zoom room have memorized how to recite the Quran by heart. They may not can read it, but they can start and go all the way through. But they'll tell you they don't know what they're saying. So those days are upon us. Those days are already here. We have to cling to the Sunnah. We have to cling to the example of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to stay upon the traditional Islam. The traditional Islam is what he came with, what his companions followed, and those that came after them, and those that came after them. As Allah says, no one will ever understand this religion better than those first 3 generations of Muslims. That's it. Anyone after them does not understand better than them. And they rank 2. They are of ranking 2. So we're in those days of fitan, those days where all the people who have memorized the Quran are living amongst us, but they don't know what they're saying. Okay? We're in the days where people are making things haram that Allah never made haram. And they're also making things lawful that Allah never made lawful. The homosexuality, the marijuana, intoxicants, musical instruments, men wearing silk. Subhanallah, women becoming like men. Men becoming like women, changing the creation of Allah. All of that is upon us. Okay? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told his companions, we have to stick to the traditional Islam. Stay upon that way. That is the straight path. Any path that deviates away from what he came with, what his companions were upon, will take you down a path to hell. Does everybody understand that? So we have to learn the deen, and we have to learn it correctly. The Prophet ﷺ told us to learn the deen, we have to begin with learning what it means to believe in Allah. That's why everything begins with and ends with aqidah, 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 your belief system. Because once we learn about Allah, that'll help to increase our fear of him. So we'll think twice before we disobey him. It'll also increase our love for him. And that's where we began our discussion in this book, Volume 2 of the Fitrah, the natural Fitrah, the natural state of the human being. And we talked about what the Fitrah is. The Fitrah refers to that one part of light that is within the human soul. We talked about how the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam explained, like I said, you'll never understand those verses of the Quran until you learn the explanations of them from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. As the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam explained in the authentic hadith, after Allah created the father of mankind, which was Adam alayhi salam, Allah ran his hand across Adam's back, and there appeared all the souls of his progeny until the end of time. That means my soul, your children's soul, your great grandkids' souls, your great Viking grandmama's soul, all the souls of every human being in existence that will ever exist appeared. And Allah gathered the souls together on Mount Arafat. And he commanded the souls to testify. And all the souls of mankind said, we testify to La ilaha illallah. And then Allah offered the human souls something. He said, think carefully though. He said, what I'm about to offer you, I offered it to the sun. I offered it to the moon. I offered it to the mountains. I offered it to the animals, the birds, the bees. I even offered it to the pen. And the pen was the first thing I ever created. I offered it to the angels. They all turned it down. He said, now I'm going to offer it to you. He said, do you want free will? Mankind, all the souls said, yes, we want it. We want it. So that's when Allah gave free will to all humanity. So all of us, what makes us different than the sun, the moon, the mountains, the animals, the birds, the bees, the cockroach? We have free will. They don't. And after the souls of Adam's progeny accepted that, Allah says it comes with consequences. And then Allah gathered all the souls of humanity and put them in wherever he keeps them to this day, someplace only known by him, up there somewhere. They're up there somewhere with him. When Eve got pregnant for the first time, Allah commanded the angels, blow that soul over there into her womb. And that's how it goes from the beginning with Eve until the end of time. Whenever a woman gets pregnant at a certain time in her womb, Allah will tell the angels, see that soul that's over there? I want that soul to be blown into that woman's womb. And that's how we all left our place. Wherever Allah keeping us, and he had the angels blow us in the womb of our mother. And when we're in the womb of our mother, the angels assigned to the womb will take care of it. Unless Allah says, I don't want that soul to even make it. Get rid of it. And if Allah says that, the angels assigned to the womb will leave. And that's when the woman will miscarry and abort the child out. That's how we come to be. Okay? We originate from the back. Our body originates from the back of our father through his sperm. That's how our body is formulated. That's why a man can never create a human being. Scientists have been trying to recreate the human life, but they'll never be able to. Okay? When Allah wants a person to be, what happens is our body comes from out of the back of our father through his sperm, which he implants into the woman through her egg. And then we attach to that woman's uterus. It's a clot of blood at first. Then it becomes a piece of flesh. And then after a certain time, that's when Allah, if he wants that clot of blood to continue, he'll say, angels, see that soul in the corner over there? And by the way, the soul don't want to go. Because whatever the soul is doing up there, it likes it. The soul's like, no, not me, not me. Oh. Take that soul, because the soul, is attached, that Fitrah. The Fitrah is the light of the soul. The Fitrah is attached to Allah. It doesn't want to leave. Oh no, not me. Take him, take her, not me. But Allah say it's got to be you. So we're put in our mother's womb. And whatever we remembered up there becomes forgotten. Because that's just the way Allah created us. Like Allah says, man will always forget. Allah, whatever we did up there, where Allah keeps us, we forget everything. All we know is that it was beautiful. We love the company of Allah. We love being near him. So we grow in our mother's stomach. And if Allah allows us to live, we come into the world a baby, innocent, not knowing anything except Allah. Where's Allah? I miss being in the company of Allah, because your soul is now in that body that Allah had originate from that back of your father. Okay? So you got to adjust. The soul is adjusting to the fact that that's why babies make all the motions. Moving. I'm in something. What's this? What's this? The baby is in shock at fingers. Wow, look at this. Look at this. This is a body. Oh, who is that? Oh, she smiles at me. That's my mother. Oh, who is this? She plays with the beard of the father. The soul is now in a body. It's not used to that. It comes into the world innocent, an infant. All it knows is, I'm not with my Lord anymore. I'm not with my Lord anymore. Where's the other souls? And what's this thing here? What's this? That's when they pick and they know, what is all this? Okay. So we come into the world, the soul in the body. The soul is curious by nature. Allah tells us this in the Quran. The soul is curious and criminal by nature. What does that mean? Allah explains to us in the Quran, and the Prophet Muhammad broke it down to us in the authentic hadith. The soul is attracted to everything that's bad for it because it's not used to this. I mean, the soul was kept up there. It was up there with Allah. So just like it's like, what's these things? Huh? This is a finger. Huh, huh. It sucks it, bite it. Well, as the child grows up, the child sees things it's never seen before. The soul is like, what is that? That's hot. That's a pot. It's on top of fire. I want to touch it. I want to touch it. The child will touch it and burn itself if the mother doesn't teach it. So we come into the world totally dependent upon our parents. And that's what the prophet meant when he said the parents shape and mold the child. Teach the child. It's teaching the soul. Because the soul ain't used to this stuff. It's curious. It wants to know what is making that water boil. Let me touch it. What is this here? Let me taste it. Let me bite it. Let me bite it. It's innocent. And inside that soul is a little beam of light. That little beam of light is the Fitrah. And the Fitrah recognizes truth from falsehood. The Fitrah recognizes good from evil. The Fitrah recognizes that, but the Fitrah craves Allah. It wants to be back up there with Allah. So that's why, as human beings, all of us, we come in this world looking for Allah, really. Looking for what we had up there. We can't remember everything that went on up there, but we know that it was good. It was clean. It was truthful. We were happy. So that's why man is always looking for the creator, for that better being. Even the atheists, they come in the world craving that. And a lot of people go on a life journey pursuit trying to find something greater than themselves. They're looking for Allah because that's the Fitrah, that little bit of light that's in the soul, craving and longing for that connection to Allah. Y'all understand the Fitrah? I'm trying to break it down in plain, simple English. This was explained to me years ago by Sheikh Morsi, who's my teacher, and also Sheikh Karadari explained this. I couldn't grasp it with Sheikh Karadari because Sheikh Karadari, I had a translator with him. He didn't speak English. And between all the translation back and forth, I couldn't grasp it. But then when Sheikh Morsi came, because when Karadari and them had to leave, and Sheikh Morsi came, Sheikh Morsi used to translate too, by the way. But when Sheikh Morsi took over, mashallah, Sheikh Morsi explained it so beautifully. And that's how I understood it, because Sheikh Morsi's English is so good. And also his Fusha. So I learned this from Sheikh Morsi like 30 years ago, guys. And when Sheikh Morsi taught this to me, everything popped and made sense. So that's why we're always on that journey looking for, really trying to attach back to Allah. Some of us find it through Islam, but unfortunately, most of us don't. That's why there are going to be more people in hell. Unfortunately, guys, even though the Fitrah is always craving and longing for that connection to Allah, most people, because of their environment or because their parents didn't raise them upon the straight path, or because their parents did raise them Muslim but didn't take the time to teach them the straight path, we end up going off in different directions. Okay? So that's what the Fitrah is. The Fitrah is that little bit of light that's inside the soul that recognizes the truth when it hears it. But Allah gave us an even harder test. When we reach the age of puberty, Allah assigns a jinn to every one of us. So now we got a jinn that's whispering to us to give in to the criminal nature of the soul. Remember, the soul is criminal. The soul is curious. It wants to, what is that? Alcohol? Let me taste it. What is that? Cocaine? Let me try it. What is that? Oh, sex? Oh my God. That looks like, hey, suspense. I want to have sex. I want to do sex with a neighbor. It looked like it feel good. The soul is attracted to all of that. And the jinn is whispering into your heart saying, go for it, try it. But to show how merciful Allah is, not only does Allah assign a jinn to us to test us, He also, at the age of puberty, Allah knows how weak we are. Allah knows that we would never be able to resist the inclination of the souls and the whisper of the jinn unless He helped us. So He also assigns an angel to the heart. And the angel assigned to every one of our hearts, it works with the Fitrah. That angel assigned to our heart works with the Fitrah to try to get us to stay with that which is good and clean. So that's why as Muslims, or as humans, we're always caught between the soul and the heart. The soul is being beckoned by the jinn assigned to us. The heart is working with the Fitrah with the help of that angel to get us to do what's right. Sometimes we listen to the angel, but oftentimes we listen to the jinn because curiosity kills the cat. We just can't overcome that curious nature of ourselves. Everybody understand that? I hope I'm making sense here. I'm trying to break this down to you guys because a lot of the Arabic speaking men, their English is not good enough. Okay? Just like when I first was taught this by my teacher, Qadardari. Even with that translator, man, it was hard. I had Jamal Badawi's sister-in-law was my translator. She knew Fusha and she knew English, but God, between all that back and forth, I couldn't get it. But when Sheikh Morsi came aboard, he took over, I got it. Okay? So, that's the Fitrah. And so what we've been speaking about, how we ended this class yesterday. Yesterday, we spoke about how we're adults now. We have that angel assigned to the heart. We have that jinn assigned to us too. The Fitrah is craving that connection with Allah again, to experience it again. But unfortunately, the human soul is wanting to try out the drugs. I want to try out sex. I want to do sex, baby. That's the soul. It's curious. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us that there are certain things that we need to be aware of that can play a great role in extinguishing the light, that little bit of light known as the Fitrah. And if we safeguard ourselves from these things, then we'll have a better chance of surviving the desire to disobey Allah. And then we'll have a better chance of listening to that angel assigned to us, tell us to follow the heart, follow your Fitrah. Okay, so I did post up on YouTube and Facebook the pages for today. And let me take this down. We'll begin with pages. Wait a minute, let me take this down first so I don't forget. Because I'm trying to keep this real. I'm trying to take it slow. By the way, that's Fame. I don't know how she popped up here. Fame, you on YouTube? That's Fame.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
Okay, good. She's the one. That's one of my students, guys. She's been coming here since she was 12 years old, and she helps me a lot. I guess Allah wanted her picture to pop up. She's married and got a bunch of kids now. Okay, hold on. Let me try this again. I don't know how she popped up, but let me do this. Oh, what's this one? Wait a minute. It's going crazy. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Okay, well, what button is this one? This? Okay, that's gone. Okay, let me take this down. Wow. Okay, I got it. I'm going to go big screen for me. Oh, that, yeah, it's down. For the people on Zoom. Okay, so y'all can see what's going on. I'm sharing you to Twitter. And by the way, guys, we're on Twitter and all the other platforms too. Please donate to support us. I meant to tell y'all, we need donations bad, man. We're getting ready to go back in the hole again. That means overdrawn because of the bills coming out. Please support us. But for the people on YouTube, whatever this is, here's Twitter. Oh, is that Twitter? Can y'all see? Oh, that's Twitter. Okay, I'm on Twitter. And for the rest of you, let me share you to my PowerPoint. Here we go. This is it. Yeah. And we'll be starting today. I want you to get your books out because I want y'all to follow along. This is pages 33 through 36. And by the way, Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid did an excellent job. He did an excellent job explaining the Fitrah and environment. However, if my brother is listening to me, Sheikh Kareem, you know I love you for the sake of Allah. I'm older than you, I think. You know that, right? Hello. Anyway, Sheikh Kareem, do me a favor. When you redo this book, use simpler English. That's the only complaint I have. He's using United Kingdom English words. Americans haven't spoken English in centuries. American English it has to be really simplified. We learn as journalists, you know, I'm a journalist too. We learn, and when we're as journalists, try to write on the level of an 8th grade. Try not to go above 8th grade level in your writings, because if it's most of the time, if it's over 4 letters, American English speaking people don't understand it. So that's the only complaint I have with the book. He uses big terminology, big words that we don't use in America. So I want you guys to screenshot my PowerPoint. because what I did was copy and paste, and I used smaller words. I took the big words that he uses and I broke them down into American English words so you guys can understand better, because we don't use a lot of that. I'm like, wow, you know, yeah. I had to take it. I have a degree in English. In order to be a journalist, you have to learn English. Yeah, so I know. That's why I'm a stickler on that. All right, so let's see. Let me put this, hold on, I'm gonna make it bigger. Hold on, let me try it. Whoa, did that work? Yeah. So today we're gonna speak about one of the factors that stands in the way. Yeah, I'm older than Kareem Abu-Zaid. He got that gray beard. Don't be fooled. Layla's older than all these brothers. I keep telling y'all I'm an old woman. I'm older than Sheikh Kareem. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that stands in the way of the Fitrah is environment. You know how a lot of the non-Muslims talk about when you buy a house, look at location. The non-Muslims will tell you location, location, location. Well, there's some truth to that. Environment is everything. Environment is everything, man. So, because if you're in a bad environment, that can extinguish the light of your Fitrah. Because remember, the human soul is criminal by nature, meaning it's attracted to what's bad and dirty. That curiosity, it wants to touch it to see what it feels like. It wants to taste it. It wants to smell it. It wants to feel it. That's why we got a problem with drugs and alcohol and sex. All right? Those are the vices the soul falls for. Feel, touch, smell. So we'll be discussing pages 33 through 36. I want y'all to screenshot this on your phone. This is the first page. Screenshot them all, the PowerPoints, then print them out, staple them together, attach them to page 33 of the book so you have my explanation. So here we go. Environment. I want everyone to ponder this verse of the Quran. Allah says, in the interpretation of the meaning, no. They say, we found our fathers following a certain way and a certain religion, and we guide ourselves from their footsteps. And similarly, we sent not a warner before you, O Muhammad, to any town people, but the luxurious ones amongst them said, we found our fathers following a certain way and religion, and we will indeed continue on their footsteps. This is the big problem with people today. That culture. Look how many of my Bantu students will come and ask me a question about Islam, and I'll give them the answer, give them the dalil, and they say, but my culture, the people where I come from, the people back home, they said do this back home. We have to remember, guys, as we talked about in volume 1 of this book, the culture of the Muslim is Islam. Islam is not just a religion. It's a way of life. And being a way of life, it defines our culture. So that's why environment is so important. It's very important who we surround ourselves with. The environment has a significant impact on the Fitrah's well-being. Remember, the Fitrah wants that connection to Allah. Environment can affect the intensity and the clarity of that inner light, and numerous obstacles can stand in the way of that natural innocence that the Fitrah has. So environment is everything. And whatever type of environment we put ourselves in, it should be one that has religion as the foundation, because the absence of a solid religious foundation can destroy our values, our principles of morality. Look today. Today, it's all about homosexuality. We're supposed to accept it. A woman can pretend to be a man. All of this is against our morality, against our principles. You got some Muslim brothers putting out fatwas telling you it's okay to smoke marijuana. When did Allah say intoxicants were okay? Subhanallah. So again, a solid religious foundation is everything, because without it, our morals and our principles can be corrupted. And remember, the Fitrah, it spent all its existence kept wherever Allah keeps it, up there. Up there. It wants to be back up there near the angels, near Allah, near whatever is going on up there. Okay? And the Quran warns us against not being careful to maintain a solid religious foundation. The Quran warns us against using the excuse that this is what my father did, this is what my people did, as a reason to steer away from what brings you close to him. And that's what these two verses up here are talking about. You know, the Fitrah is on a journey looking for that connection to Allah, and you're hindering it. You're hindering yourself because you can't get past what your forefathers did, what your people do, what your culture is, just like those dreadlocks. You Muslims do not want to accept the reality. You know them dreadlocks are nasty. You know them dreadlocks are ugly. You know that the only reason you doing it is because you lazy. You don't want to comb your hair. You sisters don't want to comb your hair. Your thing is, why should I care about my hair if I got to put a hijab on and ain't nobody going to see it? You need to think about how Allah is the one that sees you. You should keep yourself looking beautiful for Allah, because Allah loves beauty. Dreadlocks are filthy, dirty, haram. They go against our morality. The Prophet said anyone who has hair must comb through it. The Arabic word means to comb through it. Sister Wafat, she's Arabic. She's a scholar of the Fusha. She said, Layla, that hadith, the English word is comb through it. Comb through it. You're not combing through a dreadlock. Okay. So these two verses show we got to let go of culture. This ain't got nothing to do with culture. If your culture contradicts Allah, his laws, his morality, then you let that culture go. You guys understand? So all those Muslims saying that wearing dreadlocks is my culture, yeah, the culture of Shaitan. Because guess what? The jinn, the Prophet taught us, the jinn wear dreadlocks. The jinn allow their hair to grow and knot up. They don't comb it. They don't comb through it. They don't oil it. And that's the zakum tree too in hell. It's like the head of jinns. So now you Muslims, y'all feel comfortable with them dreadlocks? And I done gave y'all all the clear evidence against them? Then it's on you. That means your culture. You have a greater love for your culture than you do Allah. And this is extinguishing the light of your fitrah. Everybody understand that? All right. So those two verses serve as a cautionary reminder of how environment can impact that fitrah. Those two verses emphasize the significance of accessing cultural standards, weighing them to see if they go against Islamic morality. And if they go against Islamic morality, you abandon those practices. Does everybody understand that? And the same with any other behaviors or beliefs that exist in the world around us that contradict Allah's beliefs, then we distance ourselves from it. We do al-barra and distance ourselves from it. And by doing that, we're keeping the light, the flame of the fitrah that's right within the innermost part of the soul alive. Everybody understand that? This is why Allah commands us in the Quran, guys, to seek knowledge. This is an obligation upon each and every one of us. By seeking knowledge of Allah and his religion, that's how we keep that light burning in us. Because that's what the fitrah is craving anyway. And who is it that influences us the most? Our parents. Remember, we come into this world curious. We're put in this body. The soul ain't used to that. What are these things? Let me taste it. Let me bite it. Let me feel it. Let me see it. And the parents are the ones that influence the child. The parents play a crucial role in preserving our fitrah. Their guidance, their care can help maintain it. And this is why I really, as a daya, I really tell you sisters, I know you sisters like to work, but your place is at home. Your place is at home with those children. It's your job to keep the light of your child's burning in their soul. They're not going to be able to do it without you. You are the guardian over those children. You, the mother. We've placed too much priority on making money. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to travel. I want, again, that's the soul. The soul is attracted to what's bad for it. The soul is curious, wants to see what it's like to be like a man, wants to see what it's like to be like the Kafir women, want to see what it's like to not be at home, but deep down inside you, the fitrah is saying, there's no place like home. There's no place like home, sister. Go home. But we don't listen to it. And because we don't listen to that inner light, our children are growing up, taking on the mannerisms and the behavior of the Kafirs that we're leaving them with. I tell you, sisters, y'all need to reconsider. I tell my students all the time, you know, you get married, you marry a man that can provide and maintain you and stay home. You ain't got to work. It ain't your job to work. It's the job of him. Your job is to take on the teachings that you learned here from this website and instill them in those children of yours, so that their fitrah can be illuminated. It ain't about working. Let the man be the man. You a woman. Stay home. Subhanallah. So, parents contribute to forming a fitrah environment by cultivating love for Allah, by instilling the morality and values that we need. And it basically falls on the woman. That's why you brothers A lot of you brothers, I get angry when y'all come to me asking me, can you marry a kafir woman? Why would you want to marry a kafir woman? What is a kafir woman going to do for the fitrah of your child when you have him? She doesn't even believe in Allah. She doesn't even believe in the angels. She doesn't believe in paradise and hell the way Allah said to believe in it. So what good is this kafir woman gonna do in regards to keeping that light burning in the soul of your child? You brothers are crazy. And that's why Allah says in the Quran, it would be better for you to marry an unattractive slave Muslim girl than to marry a kafir woman. Again, our children are paying the price. They're paying the price for our bad choices. And that's why the light of Islam is being extinguished in the hearts of many Muslims today. The parents, they're supposed to shield their children from the detrimental effects of a non-faith-centered world. The parents, they're supposed to help the children to navigate through the complexities of life. They're supposed to teach the children what their purpose is, help them to develop the character that's pleasing to Allah. The parents are supposed to be the protectors and custodians of the children. Subhanallah. The parents are everything. That's why I tell y'all, when y'all get married, the priority should be a righteous husband, a righteous woman. What's a righteous husband? A righteous husband is a Muslim man who practices the deen the way he's supposed to, who knows what his purpose is in life. And for you Muslim men, it sure ain't no kafir woman. You should marry a Muslim woman who knows what her purpose is, knows what her role is, so she can help with the fitrah of your children and your fitrah of yourself too. Because remember, we're trying to keep our fitrah content as well. Listen to what Allah says in another verse of the Quran and the interpretation, the meaning. So set yourself, O Muhammad, set your face towards the religion of nothing but worship of Allah. Allah's fitrah. That's the fitrah. Believing and knowing that only one worthy of worship is Allah. No change let there be in the religion of Allah. That is the straight religion. But most men don't know. Like I said, most of us, we fail to nurture the light of our fitrah. And most of us are going to be in hell. Only a few of us. We also have the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which emphasize again the role of the parents. We have this hadith where the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, and you're going to now understand it. He said, no child is born except he is born upon the fitrah, that natural instinct to want to be in the presence of Allah. It's his parents that make him a Jew, a Christian, or a pagan. Just as an animal delivers a child with body parts, do you ever see any flaws in it? The nature of Allah upon which he has set the people. This is the fitrah. We all come into this world longing, craving to want to be back with our Lord. That's that soul. It wants to be back in the presence of his Lord. Look at it. Here it is in this body. What is this? That's why the baby get to playing with it. What is this? This ain't me. What's these little things? Okay. Where's my Lord? Where's the angels? What is this? Where am I? The children come in the world. Come in the world. Craving for their Lord. That's why you don't use the word revert. When you say that you are a revert, you're saying that you're reverting back to an infant. You're reverting back to this. The word is not revert, it's convert. I want everybody to get a dictionary. Look up in the American dictionary or even the Oxford dictionary the meaning of revert and convert. Revert refers to a substance. A substance. So you're saying that you're reverting back to a sperm? Whereas convert, look up the meaning of convert. Convert means to adopt a new idea, a new way of life, a new religious belief. The prophet said the parents, they make you a Christian or a pagan or a witch. You were raised as a Christian, brothers. You were raised as a witch, sisters. But alhamdulillah, that natural fitrah within you is looking for Allah, and you found it. You found your place in Islam. So you are now a convert. You are now taking on a new way of life. You are now taking on a new ideology other than what your parents raised you upon. You are not a revert to anything. You are a convert upon Siratul Mustaqim. Y'all understand English? Americans haven't spoken it in centuries. Oh my God. All right. So this wonderful hadith emphasizes the inherent nature of every infant born. It came here like this, innocent, confused. What am I doing here? What is this? Where's my Lord? Jabril? Michael? What's going on? That's the infant. That's the fitrah. A pure disposition, unadulterated with any religious affiliation. It has no religious affiliation. When you were born, you were like this. You didn't belong to no religion. All you knew was Allah. 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 Your parents, they did the rest. Subhanallah. So the connection between this hadith and the surah that I gave earlier emphasizes the responsibility of parents to protect and nurture the fitrah of their children. And it also shows how the parents are obligated to guide the children to the truth, to help them establish that connection that they're seeking to Allah. And we should never break that connection. So we need to get our priorities together. Is it all about making money? You brothers, you're supposed to be the provider and maintainer of your families. You need to get good jobs where you can take care of your wife so your wife can stay home and focus on learning her deen from Sister lailanasheeba. Because I'm just going to keep it to you real. I don't know what no other American daya. I'm telling you, no other female American daya that's teaching this religion like me. That's a fact. These other famous women, I'm sorry. They just famous women. They can't even break this down to you. Okay? Because they don't know the Sunnah. So you need to work and provide and maintain your wives so your wives can learn the deen correctly and then in turn teach it to those children, because it all falls on the parent. And as the prophet said in another hadith, the children usually take on the religion of the mother. And I want you brothers that's marrying Kaffir women to ponder that. The prophet said that the children usually take on the religion of the mother because the mother is the one that has the most connection with that child in its life. So you want to marry a Kaffir woman? Your children are going to be Kaffir too. Are you crazy? So now let's go to the quiz. I try to keep it simple. And by the way, make sure y'all print all of this out and then staple it together, attach it to page 33 of the book. Because as you can see, I explained 33 through 36. Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, may Allah bless him with the best of this world and the hereafter. Ameen. He did a good job, but his English is a little bit too strong. Like I said, Sheikh, I love you. You know I love you for the sake of Allah. We brother and sister. Everybody think that me and you are sister and brother. I'm older than you, though. I'm your big sister. I'm telling you, Sheikh, take it down to more simpler English terms when you edit the book. All right, so let's go to the quiz. Question number 1. Abdullah wants to build a home for his family. What advice would you give him regarding this? Based on what we just talked about today, who can give us a good answer? What advice would you give a brother who says he's thinking about building a home for his family? What advice would you give him? Anyone, take the mic. Let's hear it.
Location, 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 finding a good location, positive, work hard to get a positive environment to create for your family.
And how do you define a positive environment? There's a couple of churches in this area here. We got synagogues. I want y'all to breathe. What advice? What would you tell them?
Positive environment, less crime. That's not drug infested. That have the negative influences around your children because they will be attracted to these things, and these things will be in their view on a daily basis.
Okay, that's one answer. Y'all heard her. She says she would tell the brother to make sure he looks for a location that has low crime and all of that. What else? Anybody else? That's a good answer. Anybody else? What advice would you give Abdullah besides making sure it's a good location?
I would also advise him when he's looking at the locations, visit it during holidays, visit it during nighttime, because things happen differently from daylight to nighttime in certain communities. So he can examine the neighborhood. He can talk to neighbors. He can do that to find out if this is a good place to bring this.
Okay, that's the same thing. Make sure that the neighborhood is good. What else, Latifa? Go ahead. Latifa, go ahead.
I was going to say kind of the same thing again, talking about a good community and
good community meaning what?
Good schools for your children. What type of atmosphere is around in the neighborhood.
Okay, well, we got a couple of nice Catholic schools here, and we got a synagogue.
Well, I'm sorry, can I look for Muslim schools as opposed to the Catholic?
Okay, well, let's hear. That should have been y'all's first answer. That's why I'm kind of shocked. Y'all talking about location and good schools, but what type of location? What type of good schools? I mean, come on. My grandkids, Latifa, no. Mayfield Heights is one of the best school systems in Ohio. My grandkids grew up in Mayfield Heights. It's one of the best suburbs in Ohio and the best school systems. But did it do anything for my grandkids? Okay, somebody else. What advice would somebody else tell Abdullah? What's the answers on Facebook? And this is what I'm saying. We don't never think like this. And I'm sure there's a lot of Muslims that do come to you and say, brother, girl, I'm getting ready to move. We just got married. Can you recommend a nice place? Oh, yeah. Well, Shaker Heights, you know, got beautiful houses. They got a lot of parks. They got good school system. Really? Anybody else? What would you say?
I was going to say to look at the Islamic community. He should look to see what type of monk.
What should be the priority?
Guys.
What did I teach y'all should be the priority? Okay, the priority should be Islam, guys. This is what I would do. If Abdullah came to me saying, Sister Layla, I want to build a house for my family, what advice would you give me? You know what I would tell him? Number one, do your research and find a strong Islamic community in the state that you live in or the city that you live in. That should be number one. Wala wa barra. Remember, as Muslims, I don't want if our children grow up around Catholic girls, they'll be Catholic girls. If our children grow up around drug dealers, they'll be drug dealers. I want my family to have the Muslim identity. So number one, I'm going to look for a good community of Muslims. Where's the best mosque that's upon Siratul Mustaqim? And then my second question will be, does that mosque have a Muslim school? It would be better to put your children in an Islamic school than have them going to a Kafir school. My kids graduated from Mayfield Heights. It's rated as one of the top best school systems. Girl, Jayla can tell you about the drugs they had in school. She said, Mom, you know they was snorting meth in the bathrooms. That's what the Kafirs do. Sex. The girls were having sex. The boys having sex. You know, you want to look for a Islamic community with an Islamic school that's in a good area. That should be the priority. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I need a mosque that follows the Quran and Sunnah, that has a Muslim school, that's in a good neighborhood. That should be the advice. Y'all understand? Yeah. What about this? See, I'm going to take y'all out of y'all circle and try to get you to appease that Fitrah. All mankind is born upon the Fitrah. What is meant by that? Now that we've talked about the Fitrah for the past couple of days, when y'all hear that hadith about how all of us are born upon the Fitrah, what does that mean? Go ahead and explain it. And if they got any answers on Facebook, YouTube, please share it with me. And let me look on Facebook too. I'm sorry, I'm coming on Facebook now. Yeah. Come on, guys. Don't be afraid if your answer's not right. That's how I'm here to teach you.
Alhamdulillah. All mankind is born upon the Fitrah means that there's this little teeny light inside of every human being that's always going to have a desire for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
What y'all think about her answer? What y'all think about that answer? What y'all think? Hello?
Come on, y'all.
I agree.
That's it. Exactly. Good job, Anissa. That's it.
Yes.
So that's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
It does not mean that everybody's born Muslim, so you a revert. You reverting to be a Muslim now. No. You didn't come upon no religion except you came here in this world in awareness of Allah already. You came from out of his company. Okay? It's that light, that little light that's in that soul, that's craving to be back in the company of its Lord. You weren't upon no religion. You were in submission to Allah. Your parents teach you religion. Everybody understand that? That's what the fitrah. We're born already craving, desiring, wanting to be in the company of our Lord. That's the fitrah. My goodness. Good job, Anissa. Next question. Regarding the fitrah, would it be better to marry a Muslim woman or a Christian woman, and why? What do you brothers think? I get this question. Where's Brother HT? Brother HT is always asking me, Sister Layla, you think it'd be okay if I marry a Christian woman? I wonder what he would say now after hearing these classes. What do you guys think? Would it be better for you as a Muslim man to marry a Christian woman or a Muslim woman, and why? Brother Marar, let's hear from you. Brother Marar. Any man in the house? Anybody else? Which would be better and why? Yeah, Marar's not here. Anybody else?
Would be better to marry the Muslim woman instead of the Christian, because the Muslim woman is inclined to do what is right, do what Allah wants her to do, while the Christian woman is not.
Exactly. The Christian woman don't even know what a fitrah is. She ain't even found it yet. The Christian woman ain't found her fitrah. Okay? Why would you choose a woman that don't even know what her fitrah is? How is she going to be a benefit to you? How is she going to help your children? How is she going to be of any help to you for paradise? How is she going to remind you of Allah? How is she going to remind you of the things that you can do that will cause you to open that connection to Allah and keep it? Why would you brothers consider anything other than a Muslim woman? The Prophet Muhammad didn't have no kafir wives. The original companions didn't have no kafir wives either. All their wives were Muslims because they understood what the fitrah is. They understood what wala wa bara is. And there's conditions to marrying kafir women anyway. As Umar told them, there's conditions. They got to be inclined to Islam. If they ain't inclined to Islam, they ain't lawful for you anyway. They can't be sitting up telling you that they don't believe that the Prophet Muhammad is a prophet. Like Umar said, they're enemies to us. They ain't the women that Allah is talking about. These are kafirs. They're not even lawful for you. They deny Allah. They deny the Prophet and his existence. They don't like what we're upon. These are nothing but stone kafirs. Well, they're not lawful for you. When Allah is speaking about the Christian or the Jew, he's talking about, number one, they're chaste. And it makes sense, because if they're chaste and innocent, they're not going to be into that drug scene and stuff. And number two, their hearts must be on the verge of shahada. Marrying them, as Umar said, marrying them, offering to marry them would push them over to converting. That's the condition. These women ain't inclined to Islam. They telling you they ain't thinking about being a Muslim. Those women ain't lawful in marriage. And they're definitely not chaste. They're enemies to Islam, enemies to Allah. Okay, so mashallah, guys.
There's some answers regarding that question.
Go ahead.
On YouTube. Sakina said a Muslim because she raises the children with Islamic values, as well as maintaining a strong Islamic home.
Mashallah.
And Sister Fatima said it's better to marry a Muslim woman who believes and can teach your children Islam and her duties as a wife. The Christian woman can't teach or do the duties of our religion.
Exactly. Subhanallah. Why would you weak men even consider something other than a Muslim woman? I know why. We know why. It's because you didn't have sex with them. That's what it is. Or you want that, you know, that criminal soul. Remember, the soul is criminal by nature. The soul is attracted and curious about sex. You want to have sex with her because you like her big behind. You like the fact that she's on that pole shaking it. You watch her shake it on the pole. It's all about sex, baby. That's the soul. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. All right. So, alhamdulillah, you guys did good on this quiz. I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. I hope I broke this down and made it clear to you. If there's any of you who are not clear about the soul, about the fitrah, go ahead and ask your questions now.